Hello, everybody, and welcome to this conversation with Ektara. We are recording this in the month of November, but most of you are going to be watching this in the month of December. So happy holidays and season's greetings to all of you. It is my absolute delight to have several guests on this call. I am Veena Khanke, Director of Grants and Partnerships at Together Women Rise. And joining me from Kolkata, India is Vinita Saraf. Hi, Vinita. She is the founder and the managing trustee of Ektara. We then have Manjusmita Bagchi. She's the director of fundraising and programs. Welcome, Manjusmita. And then we have Sufia Khatoon. She is a grade 7 student. Namaste, Sufia. How are you? Welcome to all of you. So, Vinita, you are the founder of Ektara. Why don't you tell us about the origin story?
Thank you so much, Veena. I'll be very happy to start this conversation. Firstly, let me tell everybody that Ek Tara means a star, and it was a very consciously thought of name because we thought that every child across the world must have equal opportunities, and every child has a star in them. It is our duty or a privilege to be able to take out and make that star shine. So that's the reason we called our organization Ek Tara, but we hope to create many, many stars in the sky, not just one. We started working in 2011, and we are working in one of the largest and the poorest underserved communities in Kolkata. Kolkata, incidentally, is also located in the eastern part of India, for those who do not know that. The area we work in is very politically volatile. It is impoverished, it is very unhygienic and very congested. This was used to be once the hub of the city's Tannery Belt, which 2 decades back it moved out, and it left thousands and thousands of people unemployed. So we started working with this migrant minority community in this area, and this migrant community had girls who were not educated. So before our interventions, there were almost like 90% of the girls who were not in formal schools. And the government schools were really not good enough. They were really very, very below the desired level. So we first started working with 20 women, and we were doing some skill building with them. But when we realized that the need of the community is more in education, we started taking in more and more girls, and we started with a primary level school and so on and so forth. But we had to struggle with like patriarchal mindsets because we wanted to give equal access to education of girls and not just the boys. Another point which I would like to mention is that the area we started working in was very close to railway lines. So, as you can understand, there was a lot of vulnerability to trafficking. So, along with this, with extreme poverty and like a lot of unemployment, substance abuse, this all contributed to a lot of susceptibility to sexual violence, domestic abuse, child labor, early marriage. So, right from the inception of Ektara, we were geared to creating a generation of thought leaders and first generational learners. And the purpose of Ektara was to transform the mindsets of these communities.
Wonderful. What is extremely interesting and very valuable in what Ektara does is your programming begins as early as 3 years of age. There is so much material in the research literature and psychology and so many other fields that tells us that investing really, really early in children and helping them, especially when their brains are developing, even younger than 3 years would be great. But the fact that you're starting at 3 years speaks a lot to your commitment and what you are trying to achieve. So Manjusmita, tell us more about your programs.
Right. So at Ektara, our focus is, like Mr. Saraf said, on providing high quality education to girls living in impoverished conditions. So our academic interventions, our programs consist of a pre-primary project, which is for children aged 3 to 6 years. We then have a primary school project, which is for children in grades 1 to grades 4. Thereafter, we have a middle school project from grade 5 to grade 7. And after grade 7, we transition children into partner schools across the city for their secondary and senior secondary exams. Our when we take on a child at Ektara, like you said, we start at the age of 3. Our support is there right till they are ready to move into college. In fact, we support them even when they are in college. So when we take on a child, it's right from 3 to 18 years. An important part of the school support project here is that not only do we transition children after they finish grade 7 with us, but along the way, when we find deserving children, when we find children who are meritorious, we don't believe in holding them back. We try and give them access to the best schools in the city right at the beginning. In fact, RISE is supporting us for the school support project, and we are very, very grateful for that. We also have Sufia here today, who is a part of the school support project as well, and maybe she could tell you a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So, Sufia, welcome to this. Welcome to Together Women Rise. So tell me more about you. Tell me about your family. Who is in your family?
My family comprises of my grandmother, my father, and my uncle.
Okay. And what does your father do?
My father makes leather wallets.
Okay, so it is speaking to what Vinita was talking about, migrants coming in to work in the tannery industry in this area. So, Sufia, how many languages do you speak?
I can speak 3 languages.
And they are?
They are English, Hindi, and Urdu.
Okay, and you speak a little bit of Oriya too, right?
Korean.
Okay. Oh, Korean. Okay. Wonderful. Well, I hope you keep up with that. So what are your favorite subjects, Sufia?
My favorite subjects are history and biology.
Okay. Maybe you might keep up with biology perhaps and become a STEM graduate. That would be absolutely wonderful. So, Manjusmita, you were talking about a few programs, and we can ask Sufia how she has experienced that. Tell us a little bit more about your programming.
Right. So along with academics, we look into the overall development of every child who comes to us. And as a result, our support programs on nutrition, on co-curricular activities, and most importantly, on parental engagement play a very, very important role in the entire Ektara model. So basically, what we do is under the nutrition program, we provide hot meals, we provide breakfast, we provide snacks so that every child who comes to us attends class with a full stomach and is able to concentrate, because classroom hunger is also a very big problem across schools in India. We then have co-curricular activities because not all children are academically inclined, and we believe in giving access to as many opportunities and exposures to our children. So we focus on giving them access to art and craft, dance, music, sports, any kind. Basically, a child from a privileged background, opportunities that they would have, we try and extend those to our children as well. And the last bit is the parental engagement project, where we work extensively with parents to bring about a change in how they view their role as supporters in their daughter's education. So as we work with first generation schoolgoers, we find that when children go back home, if they don't have adequate support, there is a tendency to drop out. And it is through the parental engagement program that we work on capacity building of parents, give them information on different kinds of parenting, financial literacy, just enable them to also create that support system at home. So wonderful. Yes, those are all our support programs.
So let me ask Sufia. Sufia, what are some of the extracurricular activities that you've engaged in at Ektara?
They are art and crafts, dance, and elocution.
Yeah, and what do you enjoy the most?
Art and craft.
You enjoy arts and crafts. Tell me what you've been doing in arts and crafts. You did some drawing?
I have been making no crafts.
Okay. Have you been making some things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, don't give up on elocution. I did elocution too. Those are some of the places where you learn the skills for being a teacher and things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't give up on that. Now, Manjusmita also talked about some exposure visits that Ektara students are taken to. So what have been some of the ones you enjoyed the most?
I've been to Victoria Memorial for light show and Science City
Mm-hmm. Okay, unfortunately, we seem to have lost her. Maybe she can join us back in a little while. Manjusmita, see if she can come back. So while we are waiting on Sufia to see if she can join us again, Vinita, how about you addressing some of the issues? You've been working with this community for a long time. It is a big shift to move from rural areas to an urban city. Things are different, opportunities are different. What are you seeing in norms that are changing, the social norms within families, what are you seeing?
So we've been working here since 2011, and honestly, we can see a lot of change in mindsets, and we've truly do believe now that education is transformative. So, and this is something the parents have begun to believe even now. So initially, especially I think post COVID, it kind of reinforced our belief that a partnership between the educator and the family is an absolute must for a successful education. What we did is we engaged the parents and the families in the process of the child's education and the learning. And through that, the parents started taking more accountability so that the children will perform better. And the family eventually understood the need that for the education. So gradually, the parents started, accepting that it was important to educate the child. And from the beginning, if we compare ourselves to 2011 or 2015, when we registered ourselves, we had so much of opposition from the parents, in sending daughters to school. They would not want to send their daughters to school. And now today, as we stand here and speak, if we have like 60 to 80 seats available at the beginning of an academic year, we have more than 1,000 applications coming in. But yet, I must say that, fathers like Sufia's father are very rare. They are really difficult and to find, because Sufia's father has been one of those few fathers who have been taken an initiative, who have supported the child through education, who come for every parent teachers meeting. So we are trying to use him as like a role model and trying to get more and more fathers engaged in their child's development and child's progress. And we really do emphasize on a parent teachers meeting and not a mother's meeting, because eventually it happens that it's the mothers who are coming in. But we really do emphasize there's a parents teachers meet and the father must come. But we are seeing a shift. Like, for example, I can give you another small example, that we had a little tea stall outside our facility, and the daughter of the tea stall owner, he didn't even want to put her through school. But when we put her through school, she was determined that she wanted to go to college. And the father said that when she got admission through our efforts, he said he's not going to send her to college, because he said, she needs to get married and she's too old now, she cannot stay at home. But today that child went to college, she's finished her college, she's got a job which earns her like 10 to 15,000 rupees a month. And her father is so proud of her. He uses her an example, like she has a bag slung across her shoulder and she's walking through the lanes, and she's really set an example on others. It's that same father who resisted her coming to us. So you can see that the mindset is really changing. So it is education of girls that is going to bring about this change in mindset for sure.
Absolutely. But also there's an element of you have to show by doing. It's like the father's not convinced until she achieves it. And I think once that happens, there's a ripple effect for the multiple generations across, either horizontal or even the vertical future generations. But there has been a shift in India, correct? There is more and more families are very, very aspirational, both for the boys and girls. And hopefully, social norms will change faster so that it can benefit women and girls. So as we kind of wrap up, what are some of the future plans for Ektara?
Lately we have been started working with the municipal schools in the area, because we really have developed some very strong modules and some very strong programs, and we want to scale through those programs. We realize that what we've created through the years can be implemented in a much bigger way, and we have already strengthened our system internally. So we want to move on to municipal schools and other nonprofits where we can kind of replicate our model and scale out our model to other schools schools as well. So that is definitely a plan we have in mind of scaling our model to other municipal and other nonprofits in the area. Another thing we found, like as Sufia has mentioned, or as Manjusmita has mentioned, is the emphasis on extracurricular activities in Ektara has been very strong. Especially post-COVID, we realized that, that academics is not the way for the future, and the non-academic component of the child must be addressed. So in keeping that in view, we were very, very fortunate that, after a lot of due diligence and a lot of effort, we have partnered with, maybe you've heard of Tomorrowland, which is the largest electronic music festival in the world. And they are based out of Belgium, and they wanted to open 3 music and art schools in the world. And they had hundreds of applications for that. And Ektara has been one of the 3 chosen ones, literally one of the 3 chosen ones in the world to start a music and art school by Tomorrowland Foundation. So we feel extremely privileged and fortunate to be one of those. And our new music and art school is going to open on the 2nd of December. We have the inauguration where the team from Belgium is coming. And through this school, we are going to promote the creativity of every child in terms of art, music, drama, even like vocal music, dance, and any kind of, even photography for that matter. We even plan to start a small DJ academy for our children in the area. So through that, we want their creativity to come out, and it will not be restricted to Ektara children. We'll reach out to all children from underserved communities across the city and across wherever we can get children from. So that's a very, very important point for us. And thirdly, it's very important in the future to have more children like Sufia come back to Ektara, because we really pride ourselves on the community leaders that we've created. And I think Manjusmita did not mention that, because these are the young girls in the community who are coming back to us in different roles in the organization. So this is a kind of a sustainability plan for the organization, where the community girls are taking ownership of different jobs, of different fields within Ektara. And the educated girls like Sufia who go through college will perhaps come back and take up roles like Manjusmita and me and run the organization from the top. So that is definitely a plan for the future.
Wonderful. That sounds extremely exciting. Sufia, can you hear me? I wanted to ask you what were your plans were for the future. What do you want to be? Oh, we lost her again. Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's some of the challenges to get, predictable broadband everywhere would be good.
Yeah.
It would really help us leap into the future. Sufia, can you hear me?
I
Maybe not.
aspire to become a teacher.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The very, very best of luck for you for pursuing that dream of yours. So on that happy note, I wanted to say shukriya. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we will look forward to hearing from you about your projects and receiving your reports. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for believing in us and supporting us through this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.